All right. So today we're talking about abortion. Um, the title of this presentation is Abortion, an Essential Healthcare Practice Under Attack. So on May 2nd, there was a draft opinion released by Politico that the Supreme Court would vote to overturn Roe v. Wade. Um, and it's not a hard overturn yet because they haven't voted on it officially, but it's just an opinion, but it shows the direction that we're going. And basically, this change would allow each state to set their own rules. Um, and obviously, that would severely limit access or completely limit access in certain red states. And other swing states would, um, probably have a half measure. So the first consequence of this is discrimination towards pregnant women. And there's evidence of this in other countries where there are very, very strict bans. Um, so the Dominican Republic, Honduras, Brazil, they all have a lot of examples of discrimination towards pregnant women because if there is a miscarriage or they do have an abortion, they're held under lots of suspicion because they need to enforce that ban. Because if there's no enforcement of that ban or criminalization, then there's really no ban at all. So that would happen here. Because I mean that's just where we're going. You have to enforce a ban like that if you're serious about it. And with that comes violation of medical privacy um, inherently, because how else are you going to prove anything? So this is an example already in the U.S. that points to just how far the pro-life movement is willing to go in terms of banning abortion and violating essential rights. So in 2021, Texas passed the fetal heartbeat bill, which is one of the strictest in the nation to date. And what it does is it bans abortion after 6 weeks, which is well before many women know they're even pregnant. So they don't even have a chance to decide, oh, do I want to be pregnant? Do I want to have this kid? And obviously that's not good because not everyone can afford to just have another kid without planning. Um, and many people that seek abortions already have kids and they're looking out for their existing children when they receive an abortion because they can't afford another kid. And this bill is especially sneaky because it deputizes private citizens to um, basically sue people that enable someone to have an abortion. Mainly healthcare providers, but there's no. It's very broad language. So you could sue a family member. You could sue anyone that advised someone to get an abortion. And the minimum penalty set by this law, if convicted, is $10,000, and that's not counting legal fees. So you could just sue any healthcare provider, like an OBGYN, for any reason. There's no exceptions for uh, like complications, whether they endanger the mother or if the child is basically already done for, right? Um, like stillborn or anything that would highly, you know, it'd be highly likely for that child to be born dead. Um, but it enables anyone to sue anyone that even has anything to do with someone seeking an abortion. Um, and is just so dangerous because like it doesn't allow doctors to give medical advice that is accurate because they're afraid of getting sued. And even if they go to win in court and do not have to pay that 10,000, lawyers cost a lot of money, and so there's really no winning side for a doctor that's sued. And and it just incentivizes private citizens to do this for a quick buck. Minimum $10,000 bet, right? So another consequence of these changes is that death and disease would rise, and there's evidence of this in these other countries. That the number of abortions does not actually change in countries with bans. It's exactly the same as here. There's the same number of abortions happening. I believe the figure is 34 to 37 out of 1,000 pregnancies are aborted, right? Um, so there's nothing changing numbers wise besides safety, because obviously these people are receiving abortion somehow, and they're either doing it themselves or they're having somebody else do it in unsterile conditions and in unsafe ways, because they're not medical professionals, or they're being done by people that are not medical professionals in facilities that were designed for this, like Planned Parenthood or like abortion clinics. Um, and this ban would also disproportionately target minorities because, statistically, minority groups are more in poverty, and therefore would not be able to seek proper care in other states where there's no ban, or travel and have that procedure done. So the problem with Roe is that it's outdated. It relies on viability, and it's dependent on technology. So that becomes weaker over time. Viability is when a fetus can survive outside of the womb. And as technology progresses, that time becomes sooner. And it's very easily challenged by crazy bills like the Fetal Heartbeat Bill that are sued and moved to the Supreme Court. So a stronger protection would be a new constitutional amendment, which is much stronger than a court case and harder to challenge. Um, and it would redefine viability to mean the time when abortion is no longer legal. So, like 24 weeks. The only issue with this is it would be really difficult to pass because you need a strong majority in pretty much every state. So, in conclusion, there's really there's no positives to overturning Roe v. Wade. Most Americans agree that abortion should be allowed in some way, shape, or form, and the fetal heartbeat bill is evidence that some states will completely disregard that. Um, and abortion is a form of healthcare, so people should be allowed to have it done safely because it's going to get done either way. And that about does it. Thanks for watching.